Now let's begin by showing you this exhibition by a group of artists.
Exploring new paths and conquering territories is what a group of artists are capturing in Desire Lines at the Affinity Art Gallery in Lagos, an initiative which began from hundreds of applications.
It's basically about the road not taken. So the 4 artists who are in this exhibition were selected from an open call for emerging African artists that the gallery made at the beginning of the year. And so we selected Emmanuel Adeyemi, Roslyn Labazaki, Lawrence Meju, and a South African artist called Tutukani Mayeza. And their works, the body of works in this exhibition basically speak to thinking and creating outside of the mainstream mindsets and outside of the box. And so Desire Lines are pathways that are made away from the main path. So it's like diverting away from where everyone else is going. So this is kind of what that exhibition is exploring, that concept.
What we are doing today is showing some artists in Nigeria here based in Lagos. I happen to be one of them, and I'm showing my works based on human consciousness, how we relate to our environment, how we interact with ourselves as humans too, and basically how we just live amongst ourselves and how we can just relate better and form a better union amongst ourselves as humans. So that is what I'm projecting with my own works.
Besides Emmanuel Adeyemi, the other artists are Lawrence Meju, Roslyn Labasaki, and Tutukani Mayeza, who are bringing their different concepts, techniques, and inspiration to this whole.
These are all paper works, and my conception, extra-normal portraits, what I call it, has to do with me reducing the human form into simple organic shapes and presenting some ideas. So it's like I believe that I can reduce things into very simple forms to present any idea. Do you understand? And this particular body of work is titled Headlines. So it's quite indicative of my space at the time because I journal a bit. So I like to think of it as a visual journal, all these pieces. So it's quite indicative of my mindscape at the time and those of my friends and family. So I'm channeling them into these pieces as well as myself into these pieces.
My work centers on African woman dignity, self-love, being courageous and determined to being intentional about making decisions, about doing things and every other aspect of life. So the message I'm trying to pass is to young ladies, women, and every youth, every other person to be courageous. You can make decisions, we can be intentional, setting targets, setting things and working towards them in life. Be intentional about everything.
the time frame of creating my works is, it varies. It depends on the size and the message I'm trying to pass across. There are some messages that requires more subjects, which I have to like paint more subjects, of course, which takes more time. So if I'm dealing with just 2 subjects or some subtle backgrounds or environments, it takes me about a week to just make them, or sometimes 3 days or 4. But it's all because I've been working for years. I've been creating these things for like 5 years, and the consistency has made me accelerate my speed too. So it's more of like I can do more work in less period of time due to the fact that I've been consistent with my practice.
For some of them, navigating the Nigerian art road is a huge drive, as he had to keep thinking of novel ways to make something out of nothing due to the cost of art materials, while putting the spotlight on issues people take for granted.
I use found objects for my works, so I recycle basically. I use foam as my primary material, but I still combine with some other found materials like nylon and some polystyrene materials too. That's some frames chips. So I collect them from where they are being discarded, and I just revamp them and turn them to artworks. So that is what I'm exhibiting. Some of them I'm exhibiting here in this premises right now.
So I'm very impressed by these artists because there's a lot of talk about Gen Z and their work ethic and everything, because these are young artists, right? But I think these group of artists, they are very disciplined, very talented, and it's clear that they have a future in this art industry.
This has left an impression on the minds of the audience.
They're all lovely, beautiful works from lovely artists, creative-minded individuals. They are doing incredibly well. The works you see here today, outstanding and mind-blowing. You understand? So they are representations to quality. I see a brighter Nigeria in 5 years' time.
The Affinity Art Gallery has been creating platforms, especially for young creatives, to tell African stories and show how they've been able to create new pathways.